All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Parasailor, and welcome to my first Ramble style video. If you're not familiar with these kind of style videos, they're essentially like solo podcasts made by high-level Ironman. And typically, or at least historically, they're maxed. Generally audio, not really video, so you don't really have to pay attention to what's going on in the background. I'm just AFKing Dale, very chill. Um, Yeah, so just a quick summary about Rambles. The whole concept was popularized by Oziris and Lelador back in the yesteryear of Ironman, like in 2015, and they basically document their progress and share their thoughts on the state of the game, various like pulled updates, etc. And as Ironman got more popular, this like sort of thing went away in favor of traditional high quality production videos, like the stuff you'd see from Dovidas and Bodhi. Although I don't know if those are high quality by today's standards, but they were really good back then. Um, anyway, recently Rambling sort of like had this renaissance, like resurgence, with new players offering their views. I know Sae Bae and JukeboxRomeo, for example, shout out to them. And now that I'm also maxed, just hit that magical 2277 earlier today, actually. I thought I'd offer my thoughts to try my hand at rambling. Okay. Well, like I said, you don't really have to pay attention to what's going on in the background. If I show a bank or something, I'll mention it later. So let me get started by telling you a bit about myself, I guess. Oh, one sec. Okay, cool. So if you don't really care, feel free to skip ahead. I'll leave a comment with all the relevant timestamps in the comment section. So my name's Parasailor, like I said, or Para. I won't say my real name. So it's like kind of uncommon, so you'd probably find me if I said it. I am 24. I live in the Pacific Northwest of the United States. I guess, yeah, I mean, I haven't been here for that long. I grew up in the Northeast of the United States mostly, specifically the Mid-Atlantic area, if you're curious where my accent's from or something. Yeah, pretty much, born there, raised there, went to school there, went to college there, and then I moved out here for work. That's pretty much it. Yeah, I guess in terms of my childhood and adolescence, sort of taking a page out of DK Ho's book here, just, sort of talking a bit about myself. You could say I was a pretty stereotypical dude, Asian American guy. I've, just like how DK described himself, I'm pretty similar. I played piano, I liked math and science in school, I ran track, I watched a lot of anime, especially in middle school, and yeah, that was me. I studied computer science in college. That's pretty stereotypical too, I guess. Um, yeah, struggled with my friends in engineering school. That's how it is. And then after getting my degree, it was like 4 years ago, I decided to give the whole PhD thing a try, and then I quickly realized that wasn't for me. So I left with just the master's a couple years ago, and I've been working ever since. Um, let's see, what else should I mention? Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm going to move back east anytime soon. It's pretty quiet and serene here, especially in the fall. So, yeah, Pacific Northwest is really nice. If you haven't been, you should check it out. Okay, so enough about boring stuff. What about my history in Runescape? Let's see. I started playing RS2 back in September 2005. With some friends at like the local public library where I was growing up, and I'm not gonna lie, I was an idiot back then. I thought your progress wasn't saved in this game, so I'd like make a new free-to-play account every time. I'd get it to base 20s to fight noobs at the Eastern Varrock pub, by the Wildy. There didn't used to be a ditch back there, so people would gather crowds there and then start having death matches. And then, at the end of the day would roll around, and I would leave the library, and then I'd come back the next, 3 days later and do the same thing. Yep, pretty much an idiot. Actually, fun fact, this account is one of those. I can't really prove it, I guess, but it is one of the accounts that I made back then. Of course, with name changes, this was obviously not my name back then, and, an email address and two-factor authentication and all that, of course. Yeah, so I, would sporadically play free to play, very chill, Mithril two hand or whatever, Mithril Scimitar fighting at the Wildy. That's how I played till December 2007. And by that time, many of my friends had quit. Really, for a multitude of reasons, the changes in the game at the time were obviously very controversial, but also, we were in middle school by that point, and a lot of people were like, oh, RuneScape's not cool, it's for kids, it's for immature, gamers, and honestly, when you're 10 or 11, you shitting on 8-year-old kids doesn't really mean anything, but that's what was cool back then. Yeah, but I didn't care what my friends said. I still played a decent bit in that post-free trade era. Pretty consistently, I'd say, until around November 2011-ish, like mid-high school. I did a lot of pay-to-play stuff for that first time during that, that core pre-OC era. Hunter, Herblore, Dungeoneering, obviously. I got to around base 90s, I want to say. And then I quit pretty much right after that. I'll explain why in a second. But yeah, I was the next goals I was going for was Turmoil and Overloads, which were both unboostable, high, whatever, mid 90s Prayer, Herblore, which I didn't have at the time. That was my next goal. And I quit during the tradable rare market crash, the fish mask crash. I had invested a lot of my money in fish masks to try to flip them to pay for skilling supplies so that I can pay for Herblore, because you had to take a huge loss on Herblore back then if you want to make extreme potions. And then I sort of got demotivated. Back then I never really PVM'd. I would just kill KBD and Bork for blue charms, basically. Not really much different now, I'm not going to lie. I don't really PVM. We'll go through these later, but, 16.5 mil Slayer XP. I guess that's a lot. My rank is decent, but I definitely haven't PVM'd much. In fact, I've been made fun of by the Ironman Discord for not PVMing. Anyway, what was I talking about? I think I was mentioning leaving the game after so sometime in 2012, sort of-ish, I started leaving the game, and I took a pretty big break from just video games in general for about 4 years. Focus on my studies and grind for engineering school. Be a more serious person in real life and not just some guy trolling around. But then in 2015, this game called Super Mario Maker was released. It's sort of like a ROM hack platform where creators can create their own levels. But officially sanctioned by Nintendo, so you could actually get permission to make them, because I know they would try to shut down ROM hack projects. So I checked that out for a few years, actually, and I used to religiously follow 2 streamers, Carl Sagan42 and Pangea Panga. Shout out to them, they still stream, they make great videos and stuff. And I know actually Exact and Asian Rice Cup both follow Panga specifically too. He's a big pioneer and role model for Asian American gamers, especially in the Twitch scene in the early days. Anyway, so I got super into Super Mario Maker, and eventually the OG stuff, Super Mario World ROM hacks themselves. And if anybody's been down the Panga rabbit hole, they know what I'm talking about, like Super Dram World. Yeah, there's some good stuff from there. And the community's so big now too, dang. It was just a few big names like Barbar's King and Panga back then, but ROM hacking has really become accessible these days, and there's a lot of new players, which is really cool. So yeah, while I was playing ROM hacks, I didn't totally neglect RS. I did play a bit in the summers after seeing Dovidas and Bodhi make their single player series, official Ironman release, etc. And it was really grindy back then. The game was, truthfully, it was garbage. You can go back on Osiris and Lelador's Rambles, and you can see how bad it was. 9.6k Zulrah to get anything done in the game. It's just misery. And, in future Rambles, maybe I'll talk about historical versus modern Iron Man, but this is just a small intro. So I didn't really play that much back then. So I mostly stuck to SMW, Super Mario World, and then I finished up undergrad in 2017. And then in late 2017, early 2018, my roommate in grad school actually convinced me to rejoin the RS community. So he was checking it out at the time. It was Fossil Island release, Forcat, etc. And I was like, okay, I'll give it a proper shot again, and make it my main game, you could say, instead of Mario or random stuff on Steam. Actually, I play on Linux, which is a nightmare for getting stuff to work. It's a lot of whine and emulation. Same for ROM hacks, and OSRS is actually really good about that. It works out of the box because it's a Java. Anyway, so I decided to make RS my main game again, and that's what I've been doing ever since. I'll talk more about the history of this account specifically later. It's pretty interesting. including how exactly I maxed, of course. But yeah, that's how we got to this point here where I'm mining Dealt. You know, I don't really participate in Mario much anymore. I do catch a Panga stream once in a while, but you know, it was fun for a few years hanging out with some really brilliant people. You could say they're like the engineers of the Mario community. Okay. Enough about me. Let's talk about something else. So this is obviously going to be posted on YouTube. One of the things that I think wasn't clear necessarily from my previous video which was like a bank video basically, was what exactly is going to be the point of my YouTube channel. So as of right now, for this recording, I think I have 3 videos up. So there's that bank video, which was like when I was 2230 total or something. It was like 99 every non-combat skill, so I was like mega nerdy skiller back then. Still am really. Yeah. And then I have 2 more videos without any talking. I think there is a Sire video showing like a full Sire trip, so that's really cool. And then I also have a Hydra video showing one example of a melee Hydra kill. I didn't record a whole trip, but it's very repetitive. Unlike Sire, I find Hydra extremely low variance, so I just didn't feel like recording 8 kills when I could record 1, because recording lags my gameplay quite a bit. Okay. Yeah, so those videos are just sort of like where I want to go with the channel, you could say. I want to have a compendium of PVM reference videos that are reasonably sweaty, you know, pretty effective, but not like the absolute craziest methods. I'm certainly not like a, you know, super big speedrunner or anything, but I think the methods that I'm showing are pretty reasonably achievable by any, you know, average player. Okay. Yeah, so you know, having PVM reference videos and skilling reference videos, I think is going to be the goal for my channel. This is pretty similar to what, you know, Sae Bae has on his channel, just with different intentions. Just my methods and my choices, not his, basically. I really look up to him as a player, and you know, his channel is sort of like a meme in the Ironman Discord because he has a lot of really good stuff, especially concerning gravestones. So I'd like to make something similar, especially for things that are not, you know, well known. For example, there's not really a good video of how to do artifact stealing for Captain Khaled, and there's also not a good example of buying Karumblans. You know, stuff like that's really tribal knowledge. People know it, and they talk about it in text, but there's no like dedicated video on how to do it step by step. So, you know, I think maybe I should step up to the plate, create those videos, and then whenever we discuss those in Ironman Discord, I can link my own videos and, you know, self-promotion, right? Yeah, so those are the goals. And obviously, I'll make rambles documenting my progress, sort of like Oziris or Sae Bae, where I just show whatever I plan on doing with my account. And you could say that that bank video that I made last year was sort of like a, I don't know, Ramble 0, and this is Ramble 1. So that one doesn't really count. You can ignore it if you want. This one's more legit. You know, I'm not a noob anymore. I do have a fancy cape, fancy ring. Yeah. And speaking of that video, actually, one thing that I did want to mention was... Oh, wait, one sec. Yes, one thing that I did want to mention was, you know, that video was taken like 8 months ago. You're probably like, how the hell did it take you 8 months to get 40 levels or whatever? And yeah, honestly, man, I don't know. I was like at 95 prayer in March, like literally March 26th or something like that. You can go on my Twitter, which will probably be in the description. And yeah, I was 4 levels away for like 5 months, and then I just couldn't bring myself to do it. It's just miserable. Prayer actually, worst skill in Ironman, by far the worst skill. It's horrible to gather the bones. It's horrible to use the bones. Just miserable. I really hate prayer, as you can tell. Sorry for ranting. You know, construction with myth capes, pretty bad. Definitely hurts your wrist. But prayer, oh man. So the way I did prayer, and I'll talk about all of these, it was just doing more Slayer and getting it done with Slayer. It's quite a decent way of doing it, honestly. Okay, yeah, so that was just me talking about YouTube, plans for the channel, right? You know, PVM reference videos, skilling reference videos, some random dude talking about his goals that nobody cares about. those videos, and yeah. Okay, and then I guess what everybody wants to hear about, I'm sure, is the post-max plans. Pero, what are you going to do after you max? Are you going to PVM? Are you going to go for pets? Are you going to go for 200 mil all? And what's the idea? Well, I can tell you right away, I'm definitely not doing 200 mil all. I am not built for that. That would take me, it took me, I won't reveal my time played, but it took me more than 3 years to max, and quite a few thousand hours. So there's no way I'll ever get 200 mil all, or even 20 mil all, you know, especially prayer. Like, I don't want to do that again. No way, man. What a horrible skill. I'm already above 20 mil in quite a few skills, right? Like the combat skills, hit points, this thing, pretty close on some of these. But yeah, no way. No. So yeah, in terms of concrete plans, I think it'll become more obvious if I go to my bank, so why don't we do that? Let's get out of here. This place isn't really exciting anyway. How do you turn these in? I think you have to wear this outfit, right? I haven't done this much, honestly. Oh yeah, okay. Not bad. What did I get in here? Can you even get gems from this? I've seen it in Sae Bae's video, and I just wasn't sure if you could actually get something. Okay. Yeah, gotta get used to learning how to use this cape, not gonna lie. Freaking max guild, everybody's maxed here. Okay, let's put away some of the items. Well, why don't I put away more of them? Okay, cool. So why don't we go through the bank? We can compare and contrast with last time's bank. I have changed quite a few things around. Obviously there's some spoilers on the screen right here, but I've added a tab, I've taken out a tab, and I've restructured a bunch of tabs. So if you have seen the previous video, the Ramble 0 so-called, then this one will be more enticing, you could say. I'm gonna go through it at a more high level this time. It's not as exciting. Yeah, so teleports, you know, so this first tab you could say is like, you know, just generic gear and some teleports at the top with some currencies. And yeah, there's some upgrades in this tab that are nice. You know, I am not a complete noob anymore. I did Barrows, I did Bandos, I did Serb, Sire, Hydra, DK's, Callisto. Was that there last time? I honestly don't remember. Yeah, so you know, good amount of items that I think are acceptable for somebody who's maxed. Certainly not the best bank of anybody who's maxed, but yeah, a bank. Why do you have 2 of these? When you die a Borkat, you need a way back, as I learned the hard way. Yeah, so this tab is like, it's totally for form, not function. Like, it's so unwieldy to click on stuff vertically like this. You know, like who nobody wants to do that. The way I like to have my gear set up, so let's pick like a typical melee, like I don't know, like Hydra. I like to just zigzag like this, and I get everything I need. I'm gonna have my Alks here. Another example would be like Sarachnis, for example. You know, I can just take out my gear like this, and then I have my Thralls here, for example. I just find this organization really easy, and then my actual gear tab just looks pretty, I guess. Tab 2, so tab 2, or I guess it's 0 indexed according to Jagex, so tab 1 is like food and potions. And I know last time when I showed this was like a combination with like the ammo tab. It was like some messed up thing, man. Yeah, this was not clean. So I've cleaned it up, made it look nice. Food at the top, potions all across the side. Within the first view is like pretty much every potion you'd use, right? Like divines, whatever, antis, various anti-fires and venoms. Brews, restores prayer potions, sand fuse, and stems. Pretty much everything you'd use for raids. And then underneath is like all the stuff that you don't use that often. Like this is like what, like DKs and Kriara. That's like pretty much it. And everywhere else you'd use these. And then I never use manual supersets ever, so these just exist. It's pretty crazy. You have the same amount of these. It's just, I still find it mad, like how many irrits you get from contracts. Like 5 times more. It's nuts. And these are for Barblore. I did a couple inventories of this. It's okay. I like the method, but it's pretty hard. Definitely, I'll make a video on that one day, how to do Barblore. Although Ryukek Wukek. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but yeah, that guy has a really good 6-hour video on it. So if you want whatever examples, that's where you should go. Anyway, yeah, this tab is cool. I don't fancy myself, running out of supplies anytime soon, so this should be fine. Okay. Runes, ammo. This tab is cool too. I like this tab. I think it's a pretty big flex. I have thousands of most of the runes. I'm probably not going to run out of these anytime soon. I will run out of souls at some point, actually. I'm slowly bleeding them, and I had 20,000 of them. I did some soul rune crafting, and I'm running low now, but I think if you do Chambers of Zarek, that'll top you back up, so hopefully that doesn't go to 0. Some bolts from Vorkath, Sepulcher, Hydra. Ah, yes. Addy darts. I am really, really sad about that stack. I had made quite a few of these because I really didn't think they were going to nerf blowpipe. Such a mistake, honestly. Yeah, it's unfortunate. These are basically just whatever luring targets for barrage now. Like, I could just not wear an assembler, but truthfully, every task I do, like, you're just bringing the max cape anyway to get inside, so you might as well just toss it on with the blowpipe when you're luring. That sucks. Yeah, so never gonna use these. These, on the other hand, I will use whenever I have to use blowpipe, like Inferno or Grotesque Guardians or Nilo Room and Tob. Amethyst Arrows. Okay, so when these released, on the day they were released, I did some testing for like 3 days. I did 22 hours of these, and that's how long it took me to fill up the blowpipe once with like 16.3k darts, which means you're like pretty much doing, I don't know, like 0.9 hours of amethyst for every hour of continuous use of blowpipe, which is like garbage. Honestly, it's garbage. And I had 99 mining, obviously, with all the cool perks. Like, I obviously had these gloves and whatever, the D-pick and the body that I'm wearing right now. So yeah, this is just garbage in my opinion. I did it to test it out so that I could tell other people in the Discord what the rates are, but I don't think this is worth it, which really sucks because that means that blowpipe is just not viable, really, because I don't want to make these. These really should just be alks. These are for speedruns, if I ever do those. I really hate speedrunning, it makes me anxious, but they're there. Maybe I'll use them one day. Inferno? Who knows? Skills. Well, so the good thing about the nerf is that these skills last a lot longer. They're mostly for the Magic Fang, or is that? Yeah. Oh, I didn't have these either. I forgot to mention these. I'm just so used to using them now. Yeah, I didn't have these in the last video. I learned how to do Zolra. Yeah, that's right. Come on, Para. Yeah, so, the Trident is good. This is just kind of garbage, especially if you're using Addy darts. Just don't ever use them. Wow, I didn't know I have this many rune arrows. Yeah, I mean, these are from Chambers. I did a few, like 60 of them or something. I tried learning solos, but it was hard. Yeah, I mean, I did buy a bunch when I was doing MSB stuff earlier, so that's good. Chambers also some attempts at Gauntlet, but not with much success. I tested out the Amethyst Arrows as well, just to see what they were, and they are a lot better than darts for sure. And they last longer too, actually. So because Tebow only shoots every 5 ticks, so this is quite good. I could see myself using these actually, although as everybody knows, you just get so many rune arrows you'll never run out. But yeah, it's nice to see that. And then I think I had 200,000 of these last time, so rip for Slayer. Still have chins. Useless. Oh yeah, these are useless too now. I think once you do the hard diary, which I'll talk about at some point, maybe in a future ramble. I don't want to go on and on today, but I haven't grinded any of this out yet. Maybe one day I'll do some of it, but once you do this hard tier, you don't need these anymore because the hilt just gives you a superior teleport compared to this, and you can do the same drop trick method, so that's cool. You can just revert these into house tabs and use them for DK's tasks. Okay. This tab's basically the same, same tool stuff as last time. You can look, see if there's anything interesting. I made a few extra things I didn't have earlier, like try out Gem Knights. These were for Herb Lore, Slayer. Yeah, nothing fancy here. These are from Sire, actually. I never made any of these. Pretty nice that you can just bank some supplies from Sire like that. Okay. Oh, yeah. This tab is so controversial. Last time I showed this was, like, to somebody in Ironman Discord. They're like, what are you doing, bro? Like, put that stuff in the seed vault. Why do you need them in your bank? And just, you know, I use 650 slots, not even, actually. And that's... I'm not going to run out anytime soon. If I had every PVM item that I ever wanted, that would be like another 90 slots, maybe 90 slots. And that would be 740 and still not 816. So if I get to capacity issues, then I will collapse this tab. But since I don't have those issues, I prefer to have it here because it's way faster to just dump all your seeds here. So yeah, herb seeds organized in priority order across the top, and then across the bottom. Torstol's the best, Glum's the worst. Farming gear over here, birdhouses gear over here, including this buff, apparently, which happened after I got 99 Hunter, unfortunately. But you get those nests now, which is nice. I'll show that in the next tab. And then, just all the useless garbage, basically, tree seed stuff, all the various stuff you get from seed packs and wherever, like Slayer, Master Farmers, if you ever do those, which I don't do. Yeah. Actually, one interesting thing to note is that I had like no herb seeds when I made that last video, and I haven't done any contracts since then, not a single one. So all these are from Slayer and PVM, which is pretty nuts because I have over 200 of each of these, 153 Aventos. Okay, I did have some Toadflax. I didn't plant like 500 of them, but I got 300 more, so it's pretty nuts just how many seeds PVM gives you, because you really don't ever have to do contracts even as a PVMer, which is nuts. And even for herbs, actually. I zeroed out all my herbs for 99 herb lore. I struggled pretty hard for that, and somehow I have 400k XP past 99 just from cleaning, I think, honestly. And every single one of these herbs, I'm pretty sure, came after that video, like without any planting, no herb runs. It's pretty nuts. And then I did a few birdhouse runs. Like, what's my hunter XP? Yeah, I did like 250k XP past 99 just to test out this thing, just to see what it's like. And I got a few of these egg nests, but not as many as I thought I would, honestly. I think I was just unlucky, though. You are supposed to get quite a few. Yep, this tab's pretty similar to before. It used to be organized like horizontally, you could say, and now it's organized vertically, and I like this way better. It's very cleanly divided, in my opinion. Okay. This tab's exactly the same as it was last time, although I zeroed out all of these as well for 99 smithing, so everything you see here, including the bars, were all from PVM, which is, again, nuts. Especially these, like, just, wow. I had these already, I remember, and I also had these from Gem Knights or whatever, because I do have, like, yeah, I tried going for pet, and I didn't get it, and I was like, okay, I'll go after I max, and now maybe I'll try again. These are from Cox, I'm pretty sure. There's no other way you get this many. Yeah, it's just really crazy, honestly, this tab, like, because I definitely had this, like, zeroed out, and I mentioned in the last video, oh, I'll have a lot of fun rebuilding this tab, and it's pretty much back to where it was, which is pretty cool. Same for this one, actually. Well, actually, this one's the opposite. So this one was full in the last video, and this time around, it's gotten emptied because I completely emptied everything out for 99 prayer, and then I had 0 essence. I think this is from Slayer, and then all of these were converted to as well. Yeah, I mean, this tab is cool. It's nothing interesting, I guess, so I'm not going to talk too much about it. This is my junk and trophies tab. There's just a bunch of PVM dupes here that I don't care about. All the stuff from Slayer. Oh, yeah. So I tried going for Champion's Cape, and I'll talk about this later, but I only finished half of that. Barrows, useless. Although this thing is apparently good at Phosani's Nightmares, so maybe one day I'll try that out. More dupes from DKs, from Vorkath, not from Sire. These are Ultra Pictures. These are all from Barraging Slayer. I didn't get a single one of these from Sire, which is nuts because I have 5 of them. Yeah. Okay. Let's see what else. Yeah, everything else is pretty similar to where it was before. Yep. more cults maybe, because I didn't have any last time. And yeah. And then finally, I think we can see our cash attack is 50 mil. Oh wow, that's unexpected. I didn't think it would be so cool like that. This tab is worth 90 mils. Like if I alked everything here, I'd have 140 mil in alks, which is quite a lot, honestly. It is quite a lot. And I think one of the first things I'll do after maxing, sorry, well, I have maxed. One of the first things I'll do in the future is probably liquidate this tab. And it's like 8,000 or 9,000 alks that I have to do here. And then if I also convert everything here and then make bracelets out of all of these, and you know, convert all these bars into plate whatever skirts and bodies, then that's like another several thousand. And no, if you're like really nerdy, I don't even think this is a word, that these should definitely be arrow shafts, but if you care about money so much that you make these into longbows, that would be like another 5,000, 6,000 alks. So yeah, we could say I'm not going to bother with all of these because I don't see myself running out of money anytime soon. So we could say 90 plus 50, 140 mil, which I will probably dump into blood and soul runes, mostly blood. And then, yeah, do some PVM. So speaking of PVM, people are going to ask, what are your plans? What are your plans? So I think one of my plans is definitely going to be, where's this? Solo Cox. Yeah, we can get rid of this. This was when I was trying to use those and learn, and that was just not a good idea. Yeah, you know, Solo Cox, I have all the gear. I have no excuses, honestly. Like, anybody who has this gear would just be like, what are you doing? Like, just go get rigor. I know, right? Maxing without rigor is pretty sad. I'll get it. I'm at that point where like I'm sort of gate like locked or whatever, gate kept from doing content because I don't have this. I can't get an Inferno Cape. I can't really do God Wars because that's all range now. Yeah, there's a lot of content where range just feels really useful, and I don't have it, or at least not the best one. But you know, I'll get it. So I think I'm going to start with this, and then on the side maybe do some Gem Knights. You know, why not? I haven't done this in a while, and I think I want this pet for real, so I'll try it out. But yeah, Solo Cox. The items that I really want from Chambers of Zerek are obviously Rigor. I'm missing that, but there's more. I think I would really like to have top and bottom Ancestral. I would like to have Claws so that I don't have to use unpoisoned DDS anymore. And obviously everybody wants T-Bow, and I would like a T-Bow, but I don't care that much about it. I would prefer, especially now that there's that bow of Ferdinand, that bow is quite good. Which, that's a whole separate Ramble topic, honestly, how overpowered that item is. But yeah, you know, I'm fine with not having that. The other item that I really do want, though, is a Kodai wand, so that I don't have to use this thing to manually Barrage Slayer. You probably noticed, actually, I had this when I manually cast all my Slayer with this because it has 5% damage. It's like wearing a Torm. It does give you max hits, and not just one, actually. Sometimes it gives you two because this doesn't give you a max hit by itself. So they scale together, but not alone. Yeah, so, you know, it would be really nice to have a Kodai. So yeah, Rigor, Ancestral, Claws, Kodai. I'm fine with the Staff of the Dead. I don't mind manually barraging Slayer at all. I would like to get an Imbued Heart, so having any 15% item would be good. And after Solo Cox, I think one of the things I definitely want is to get an Infernal Cape with Rigor, yes. And then after that, Phosani's Nightmare. I think it would be really fun to do Phosani's Nightmare and eventually Corp after Phosani's Nightmare. But yeah, you know, I have all the gear for it actually, except the Infernal Cape. Everything else is pretty low requirements, you know, like a noob like me has all the good stuff. This, even all the boots, even though they don't matter. Yeah, just the Infernal Cape is what's missing because I have the Bludgeon, and I mean, Scythe is better, obviously, but it's expensive to use, so this is fine. And you could say I'm missing a Vernic. I know people make an argument for using this Dragon Mace, like shout out to Score in the Ironman Discord, but it's barely better, so I'm going to go with Bludgeon for everything. And I have a Ham Joint in my POH, so I can just fish that up. So yeah, in terms of post-max plans, I think I laid it out. Solo Cox for Rigor, then Infernal Cape, Bosani's Nightmare. And after that, probably some Corp. I think I would like any Spirit Shield. I don't care which one, but truthfully, the Arcane would be the best one to get now because of that Raids 3 announcement with the what is it called? I know the Heka is the staff, the wand rather. So this is the tome. What the sigil? Whatever it's called, I don't remember off the top of my head, but that thing requires the Arcane, so getting that would be nice. A damage percent item is definitely nice to have. And along the way, I think I'll do some skilling. You might have noticed, I have prepared some axes from DKs. I know it's better to do like whatever 2 tick-teaks, but I'll probably park at Redwoods for some time just to AFK. You know, the classic Ironman burnt Redwoods, and I've already done some actually. I have 14 mil XP, just to see if I can get the pet. I think it's like 30 to 40 mil XP or something. Eventually I'd get it. Yeah, you know, speaking of pets actually, I know you can show it from here these days, right? I really like this interface, by the way. This is really cool. Really nice job, Jagex. You can see already here. But if is this how I do it? Skilling pets? No. I think it's Slayer. No. Wow, you can totally tell that I have no idea what I'm doing when I go here, right? Is it miscellaneous? No, it's not. Let's just go one by one. How about that? I already know what I'm going to talk about. So Sire, I did Sire. I got my Bludgeon, as you saw, and I also got the pet. And I wasn't even that lucky on the Bludgeon. You know, this is pretty much the drop rate. It's 619 is the drop rate. So I got my Bludgeon. Those were 3 of the 6 Unsireds, and you could probably guess what the others are. I got 1 of the daggers, I got a whip, and I got the pet. I did not get any of the heads or the other dagger from the Unsired, which is pretty crazy. But it's not just that, I also got the Serp pet while getting the uniques. Got 2 of them, actually. Pretty nice KC, not 666. And I also got the Hydra pet. These are pretty nice because these are pretty big prayer drainers, and I got the pet at all of them, which means I'm done with all of these bosses basically forever. Yeah, you could say it's pretty funny. My reward for skilling is that I go to every boss and I get the pet and I leave. I didn't get the jar at any of them actually, which is pretty interesting. I think that's the only unique I'm missing at all of these bosses, right? Yeah, it's pretty funny. I didn't get this one though. I did do some of this while maxing. I also spooned here, just get the top bottom, then leave, never come back. Anyway, so what was I saying? You know, go for pets. I think, yeah, going for some skilling pets. I do want to get this one. I would like to get this one, which, you know, as you saw, there's 8,000 items to Alk or whatever. So maybe I'll get this one. I doubt it. If I do Sepulchre, I think there's a better chance. And I want to get Herbivore pet, and the rest I don't care about, like Heron, whatever, Temperos, whatever. Just I don't care. If I get those, maybe I'll do. You know, maybe I'll go for them. But these are the ones I definitely want. So I could see myself going for those on the side while I grind out, especially solo chambers, because it's just so slow, like such a slow grind, and you know, whatever, 2.5 kills an hour, it's pretty easy to get burnt out of that. So doing a small amount of skilling on the side is something that I will do to keep myself sane. Okay, cool. So that is pretty much it for the plans for the future, the post-max plans. This is the max party from this morning. I'm really happy with how many people showed up. I'm really shocked. I didn't expect that this many people would show up. So thank you everybody who came, and thanks for watching this video, honestly.